What's going on, shoe fanatics? Welcome back to the channel. I have what I believe is another early look, except I don't know when these things are actually supposed to drop. I think they were supposed to come out on July 22nd, but I'm not sure. They've just been popping up all over the place. I got my pair from, I forget where I got it from. I can't remember, but anyway, here's the shoe. Let's dive right into it. As you can see, you have your standard Air Jordan 2 box. I know how you guys feel about Air Jordan 2s, but I'm telling you, Jordan brand Nike is making a believer out of me with their recently released Air Jordan 2 lineup, and this one is probably the cream of the crop. The only thing about this box I wish it would have changed is because we've been getting so many different boxes for the Air Jordan 1s. I wish there was some University Blue on this box too, but listen, I'm happy to have it. It is what it is, Air Jordan 2 box. Size tag reads Air Jordan 2 Retro Low, white University Blue. University Blue again for the second week in a row. Ladies and gentlemen, I am beyond pleased to present to you the Air Jordan 2 Low UNC. Now, if you're new to the channel, as I always say, first we're going to talk about the shoe and then we're going to talk about the shoe. Let's dive right into it. Like I said, first and foremost, we have the Air Jordan 2 in a low-cut fashion. Now, I know, again, you guys are not fans of the Air Jordan 2. It's been like that since forever. I wasn't a fan of the Air Jordan 2, but like I said, they're making a believer out of me. First and foremost, you have this straight line traction pad, very similar to the Air Jordan 1, again, designed by Peter Moore, and the Air Jordan 2 kind of follows suit. As you can see here, you have a Nike Air down here on the sole, and of course, nice little touch, you have the actual size of your shoe, this particular size being 10.5. The size of the shoe is embossed on the shoe. So nice little touch, nice little niche detail, exclusive to the Air Jordan 2. And of course, you have that gray and University Blue colorway on the bottom. Flipping up to the midsole. Again, now this is a part that kind of loses me depending on the colorway, but on the midsole, you have a nice white, and hopefully this ambiance is not destroying the actual color of the shoe, but the shoe itself is actually white. It's not sail, it's not cream. Jordan Brand has a tendency to put a lot of sail and cream on the shoe, but you have here a nice pure white with that nice University Blue colorway, so keep that in mind. As I mentioned, the part that loses me a lot of times is when you have black paint here on the sole, and that kind of makes a shoe look like a tap dancing shoe or a bowling shoe. But thankfully, you have this University Blue and gray colorway that doesn't look as bad. It doesn't look like an empty space, kind of where like the shoe has a heel to it, if that makes sense. Coming up to the upper of the midsole, you have a pretty stiff rubber feeling material, but again, it's that nice white colorways there for stability. And I like the way it fits into the overall theme and motif of the actual shoe itself. Coming up to the upper mid, you have that lizard skin print that is synonymous with the Air Jordan 2. For those of you who don't know, when the shoe was designed, it wanted to have some kind of luxury Italian feel to it. And so they ended up going with this lizard skin. And this shoe was actually made in Italy for the better portion of the 1986-1987 season. And again, it had that luxury feel to it. So it continues on with these retros with this lizard skin feeling material up on the upper. Coming to the front of the shoe, you do have a nice smooth grain leather, and it feels fine to me. You know, nothing spectacular, but it's nice and, you know, it's pretty good. It's actually fairly soft to the touch, not bad. Separating the full grain from the lizard skin, you have this nice University Blue piping. Again, another touch synonymous with the Air Jordan 2, and I like it a lot. The University Blue piping, it really hits home. And again, you have 4 standalone lace holes with this particular release in this particular size, with the ones at the top and at the bottom for a total of 6 lace holes. Now, the reason why that's important is because I believe either on grade school and smaller sizes, as well as extended sizes, you have 1 less and 1 more lace hole per release. The tongue itself has this vinyl feeling material to it, with of course the famous ball and wings logo with the University Blue colorway. An interesting tidbit about this rubberized ball and wings logo that it has gray background to it, which is really nice. And I think even though it's subtle, it does accent the shoe pretty well. As you can see, you have a University Blue sock liner here in that cloth material. And on the back of the tongue, the same kind of colorway, and again, that same material. Hopefully the camera will pick this up. My ambiance is getting in the way, but you have the University Blue insole with the Nike Air in white. On the back heel tab, I never did find out what this is supposed to represent. I mean, I know it's got, again, this luxury quality feeling to it. Whatever this design is supposed to be, this luxurious design, it's got this University Blue colorway on the back. And again, man, this is a very nice touch of this particular shoe. Last but not least, it has a standard pair of cotton laces. Nothing different about that. And again, it's white, not sail. And I'm going to give you guys a couple lace swap options at the end. Stick around for that. That's pretty much it for the construction and basis of the shoe. So let's actually talk about the shoe. Once again, we have a University Blue colorway, and that's probably what made me decide to go ahead and pull the trigger on buying this shoe. I actually made note of that in my most recent review of the Air Jordan 1 UNC. Let's go ahead and roll that footage. Now, the truth of the matter is, Jordan Brand doesn't actually call all of these shoes University Blue, and I'm sure there's some forgetting. Some of these are university blue, some of them are dark powder blue, some of them are powder blue. Whatever the situation is, I mean, we all tend to call these all UNC colorways. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if Jordan Brand markets them as UNCs. Either way, we keep calling these UNCs and we keep buying them all the time. And yet here we are again, another UNC release. And I'm going to be honest with you. Jordan Brand has released so many Jordan 2 lows this year and Jordan 2 highs, to be honest. And a lot of the colorways have actually been pretty good. I didn't feel it was necessary to run out and buy all these Jordan 2s just to kind of bolster my collection or make myself feel good about the Jordan 2. But when you combine this growing love I have for it with the UNC colorway, then it kind of becomes a no-brainer. Couple that with the actual quality of the shoe and the $150 price tag, I don't mind this pickup at all. In addition to that, as my collection grows, I become more of a stickler for what I pick up. So this particular case, not only is the shoe constructed nice, it's a UNC colorway, but there also is some history to it. For those of you who don't know, this is actually a PE. And my Jordan 3 Wizards PE review had to really hammer that point home. Just because he didn't wear the shoe when he was in Chicago does not make it any less of a PE. In this particular case, he actually wore this game in the UNC alumni game, I think sometime in June of 1987. So that's right, folks. He actually wore this shoe. Not only that, I think he had some input in the design of the shoe, according to our guy Nightwing. Now, I can't confirm that, and I think he couldn't either. So if he could, I can't. But the fact of the matter is, he wore this shoe, which makes it a PE. Now, in the past, hype and exclusivity, they kind of made the perception of a shoe go up in people's minds. And a PE previously would have done just that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to convince you to buy the shoe because it's a PE. But I do want you to be well aware that because it is a PE, there is a place in history for this shoe. And if you are a collector like I am, it should mean that much to you if you can spare it, of course, because, hey, I don't count people's pockets. It's worth the pickup. As a collector, this is one of the problems I'm going to have too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to bother me. This is going to bother me. This is going to bother me. Even more so, that price tag, trying to cop that shoe, is bothering me. Like I said, this is a disease. This is a sickness. Don't be like me unless you're going to try to be like me. So good luck. Now, the closest thing that we've had to a Jordan 2 UNC high was that Jordan 2 Carmelo Anthony one. And I believe that's when he played for the Denver Nuggets. And I'm not sure if that's a university blue and some kind of yellow, but I'm pretty sure that's the closest we came to it. Other than that, it was also a 2-pack. It was a university blue Converse and a university blue high Jordan 2, I think called where 2 started, or the beginning of the 2, something like that. That shoe is kind of a combination of this one and that one. The upper of the shoe, including the back heel tab, as well as the Ball and Wings logo, had a university blue colorway on it. But I believe somewhere in the bottom probably still had this red colorway to it. And again, that was the first alumni game I believe he played in before he either designed or helped design the actual low. There's some other little cool tidbits on that shoe, including I think it said Mike on the back instead of Nike. So either that Mellow or that particular shoe would actually be the closest approximation we have to a UNC high. But let me know down in the comments, would you even top a UNC high if it were to become available to you? The only one other thing I am a little disappointed in is that they did not give us all the accoutrements, all the extras, all the little things that go along typically with an Air Jordan 2. So for example, the Air Jordan 2 Chicago, I had a hang tag somewhere around here. I guess it's in the box, but I think there's a hang tag that comes with this, as long as a nice little pamphlet that comes in the box that gives you the tech specs of the Air Jordan 2 as it released in 1987. Because this shoe is a PE, and because he did play in it in an alumni game, it would have been nice to have a little bit of a callback, some kind of pamphlet or something in there talking about how this shoe has its place in the annals of MJ's history. But beggars can't be choosers. At the end of the day, if you care about history or not, this shoe is actually just pretty damn good for the summer. Like I mentioned, it's pure white with the university blue colorway, nice, fresh spring, summer vibes, a very nice shoe to rock during that time of year. Now, me personally, I have to give credit to the Shelf Life Jordan 2 because this is actually the first one that really made me appreciate the Jordan 2 lows. And again, because I have this one now, I can definitely see my collection of Jordan 2s growing as time goes on. We got some pretty nice ones, including the women's UNC Chicago, as well as the Cherrywood ones. Like I said though, budget matters, and those 2 shoes just weren't in the budget right now. But speaking of budget, unless and until this shoe releases on Sneakers app, you have an opportunity to pick this shoe up on the aftermarket, take it how you want, for less than retail. The last time I saw my size going for like $117, that was a 10.5, $117, which is $33 under retail. Now, as far as comfort, you might want to go up half a size. Now, the reason why I mentioned that is because the shoe does run a little bit narrow through the toe box, okay? But here's a word of caution also. If you do go up a half a size, in my personal opinion, and some other people I've heard as well, when you do go up a half size, you tend to have this gap between your actual heel, or the arch where your heel and your Achilles meet, and the back of the shoe. So you're gonna have this kind of little flippity flop when you walk. I went ahead and decided to go a half size down in order to reduce that gap between my Achilles and the back of the heel of the shoe. I don't have foot measurements. I don't know what constitutes a narrow foot versus a wide foot, but my foot, I assume, is pretty normal. So I can just go ahead and deal with a little bit narrow toe box. It doesn't really bother me. If you're a wide footer and you know you're a wide footer, a half a size up might not be a bad option for you. Other than that, just go true to size. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Lastly, that being said, this shoe should have been released on July 22nd, this upcoming Saturday, for a price of $150. As I mentioned, this shoe should be coming out on July 22nd for $180. And consequently, this shoe is already loaded on the sneakers app, and this shoe is not. So, I don't know. Keep an eye out for it if you wanted. If you trust the aftermarket sites on the retail, not a bad proposition. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this video to a close. Thank you guys for joining me. I don't know whether or not I convince you to buy this shoe or not, but it is what it is at this point. It's the UNC Air Jordan 2 Low. Check the on foot, check the lace swaps. I have been Jay Shoe Fanatic. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed this content, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and come back and see more reviews from me, man. Until the next one, I'm out of here. That's slow. Oh, the original cut. There it absolutely is. I might like it better than the 2020 version. So it was right. And I had to